Welcome back from the very long 5 minutes.
Yes, sorry about the waiting. Like way longer than 5 minutes.
When things can go wrong, they go wrong. But yeah, welcome to the Games Now Game Jam Autumn 2023 kickoff.
Finally, yes, it's happening.
Yeah, we kind of made you wait for 2 long days of talks to inspire you for this Game Jam.
Exactly.
So let's look at. Okay, as always, make sure that you are on our social media channels. Everything is with Games Now Alto F5, but you can see all the kind of the specific links with our website, Games Now Alto F5. Ooh. And now it's completely blue. I mean, blue, not blue, red.
Slide is not showing on the main stage screen at the moment, but I think that we see the slides on this screen, but not on the backstage screen at the moment.
It's a perfect jam mentality.
There you are.
We're back. Okay, so within this event week, we've had absolutely nice friends, but also excellent program to get inspired. You can use the talks here to get inspired on your jam games. I think that specifically from today, like Jussi Kemppainen's talk about the AI tools, maybe something from there. Definitely Arvi's tips on how to approach game jams. This is really relevant. But then also, like Max's and Mike's long talks about the content of different stories and narrative scenarios. So you can also make a board game in a game jam, so you don't always need to make a digital game. And you can make a hybrid game like their product. But there's tons of things happening in the industry, so just tap on the things that you like. So we go for the game jam. Game jams are absolutely the best places to try out ideas and also get to know new people. I think this is like my 55th jam or something like that. But I'm nowhere close to like some of the really crazy jammers that go over 100 jams in a decade.
Wow.
So yeah, if you're not at our itch.io yet, make sure you go there. This image is from yesterday, but push the Join Jam button so that you kind of mark it yourself, and then you can submit at the end of the jam. It turns into submit again.
So I remember you already probably filled a Google form where you sign up for a jam. If you actually want to submit the game later on, you need to join the itch.io, which is a different tool. So you have to do that. So do two things: Google form and then itch.io. Don't forget
you can still join the jam by filling our registration form as well.
Yeah.
We did a matching already on Friday. We can accommodate people that comes later. So there will be a lot of help on our Discord server specifically. But yeah, join it now. I think we have like 150 jammers in our form now, all around the globe. A little bit of brief view for what's going to happen in this jam. So we had the matching done. The teams are already discussing on our Discord channels. And we've had the talks on the Monday and Tuesday. And we're going to, at the end of this red presentation, we're going to have the theme announced. Then we move into Solip's absolutely golden tips for what to do with your teams that might have strangers in it, might have remote participants and participants in different time zones. So maybe typically in game jams, you don't have to pay that much attention to project management or kind of that side of game production, just go with it. But the more you have remote participants, more members in the team, time zone differences, the more you kind of have to pay a little bit of attention to the entire kind of a project management side of it. But yeah, we're going to jam all the way to Sunday, but we have a deadline coming up on Friday on the gameplay videos. So I would recommend that if you feel like that you have a lot of time to try to figure out whether you can make the game up until Friday, and then kind of have already in the morning something to record as a gameplay. You have time to polish it up, you have time to change things in it, but we'll kind of give you this one deadline for your projects to have a little bit of structure. Gameplay videos in general are always super important for jam projects, so whatever happens, make sure that you always have a jam video done, because at the end of the day, you might want to show the project at some point to someone else, and it's really not that feasible to ask people, for instance, to download the games. But yeah, so we're gonna have stream program with hopefully people from other locations daily basis, and then on Friday we kind of have a ending of the hybrid mode, at least here in Espoo, but you can continue in an online mode throughout the Sunday. Yeah, and full program is at our website, as well as on the itch.io page. Couple of notes to share, and I'm pretty sure that Solip also agrees with this, with a lot of game jams on the pocket already. Kind of the first off is that all forms of games on this game jam and all platforms are allowed. So you can choose whether you make a game for Unity, Unreal, Bitsy, Game Maker, analog game, card game. Yeah, LARP. Anything. Yeah. Or you can make a children's play thing, an outdoorsy thing, or even a sports. As long as there's something that you can upload, like the rule sheet, for instance, and a PDF format. But we also require you to have full transparency on what kind of tools you have used. We also ask in the submission form of estimation of how much time you used, because you can also do very short time jam on this within this week, so you can choose, especially if you're working in a solo project. But we have in the submission form, we have this kind of a request of listing all the resources and tools that you have used. So also list Photoshop, notes, anything that you've used for making the games. And this kind of tradition also comes from demo scene, where when someone has made a demo, they typically list all the different tools that have been used, so that you kind of can imagine better, especially these days when there's so many assets that you could use. There's so many different tools that give you shortcuts in the gameplay programming, for instance. So it's very important for us to understand, and also other jammers to understand how these games were made. So that's very important. And as I said, the video, it's always important.
Yep, gameplay video, deadline on Friday, of course. Check the itch.io page. There's a whole lot of time zone schedule allocated. We're based in Finland, but there's a lot of jammers out there, so there's like time in Finland, time in West Europe, time in East Coast in United States, West Coast. We calculate all of them, and the deadline is listed on itch.io page, so check that out. When is your gameplay video deadline in your time zone? Yeah. itch.io.
And communicate that with your team as well, so you're on the same page. Then once we will have revealed the team, as kind of a similar way that what Arvi was discussing about how a Nordic Game Jam has been using the theme, is that don't get too much kind of, uninspired, for instance, with the theme. If the theme doesn't really give you ideas, then try to work around it somehow. So we're going to give a couple of examples when we announce that, how it can be interpreted. But it can be interpreted in so many different ways. It's supposed to give you a starting point. Yep. Because it's always the time-consuming part when you kind of figure out where do you start from. So that's a very important part of game jams. And then especially pay extra effort on communication, and I put it extra effort because it's super important. And Solip will run you through a couple of ideas how to also improve that team communication and brainstorming in the early phase of your project. But maybe it's always absolutely vital to repeat this, so make sure that you're concrete with your idea suggestions or other requests in the team. Use multiple ways of communication, because people might have different kinds of needs for the communication. Be polite, but also be concrete, maybe literal, especially with the kind of the things that you are going to do or asking someone else to do. Because this kind of multiplies when there are cultural differences and also language barriers in some of the themes. And then it's also super important, even though we're working on with remote teams or hybrid forms of the teams, that you get to know your team. There is almost a week time to ask questions about personal preferences, other things, the cultural meanings that you talk about. So get to know of your team, at least names and the roles that they're doing. Like, that's super important, but it's one of the aspects that is easily kind of forgotten that, hey, what was your name again? So make sure that you start with that, you have those names, because you also need to credit everybody in your team, so that you don't kind of, when someone has to go to their mother's birthday or something on Sunday, and then only then you're making the credit list, and then you just completely forgot that person. So that wouldn't happen. So it's very important. And also maybe a little bit of what motivates your team members. Like, what do they want to do? If they're artists, do they want to create like cute cats inspired by Arvi's adoptee, or like what motivates them? Whether they're programmers, do they want to do like multiplayer game ideas or something like that? Because everybody needs to be on board and be able to express themselves and do something that keeps them going for the entire week. Yeah, and kind of a thing that relates to that is that try to create an idea now that there is like much more of a matching and team-focused jam than typical. We often have like game jams where the teams are built on top of ideas, so that you pitch ideas and then the teams are formed. But now that the teams have already been formed in so many ways now, and it's still ongoing, so try to figure out what is the best game that your team can create. So let's say that one of you is like a super enthusiast of bicycles. That could be really kind of a good resource of looking at like bicycle-driven games.
Yeah, I want bicycle game. Then you respect your teammates and listen in, communicate.
And the games is such a wonderful medium because you can combine very weird stuff together. It's like, okay, bicycles and Arvi's cats and maybe a little bit of pathfinding algorithms, and all is done in Unreal. Like whatever ticks your team and people are motivated to learn already have skills for that.
Yeah. And then the one thing to remind is that Jam is about experiencing of making games and to communicate. So no worries if the game doesn't work. If it breaks into pieces, if for some reason doesn't work in other computers but only work on your computer, well, it's fine. You have a gameplay video submission done and you have the experience. Again, this is not a competition. We're not going to grade you. We're not going to rank you or anything. This is all about enjoying, experiencing the jamming with the other people.
Yeah. But on top of that, we have a new thing, which is an exhibition. But however, the games that are done during this week, they don't end up as such necessarily to the exhibition. There's lots of time to polish up your things. So if you think, like, for instance, Arvi, in Arvi's talk, that there's something really nice in this game that I made, so it kind of pays, it kind of is good thing to put it forward and develop a bit further. So the games that we are selecting for the exhibition project have time to be polished, as long as they've been submitted, even as a broken
Yeah, you have a couple of months at least. So be friendly with your friends. You might end up polishing the games together. So don't burn your bridge in just 1 week. So.
Yeah. So the eligibility of the exhibition project is that at least one member of the team needs to be from one of our networked schools. So
And
that's
different time zones, yeah.
Yeah. Now a little bit like a practical thing. We already have channels set up for the projects that have been on the matchmaking.
Yep.
So there is a lot of activity there. If you haven't checked the Discord yet, but you were in a matchmaking process, make sure that you go and check if you have been matched to a team.
Yep.
And every single project also have a voice channel, which has like sharing possibilities. So what you can do also is that within your team members, whether you're online, hybrid, whatever kind of modes that you take, you can also do screen sharing with each other so that it kind of improves the communication between the teams. But if you don't have the project channel yet, if you were with a set team in
or
this
solo jam, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of those as well. So just ask us to create this project room for you in Discord. And we strongly emphasize use these tools, because if there are people that you don't know of, it's much safer to jam because it's completely open jam. We can't guarantee that people are behaving nicely, unless it's like we can't control people. So, but please be on these channels and do that as an official means of communication. We don't prevent you to go elsewhere, but it's on your own.
And this is a channel that we teachers and every other jammers can see. So it's kind of like a communal ground, like more of a safe ground that you can jam together. So check our Discord. That's why we highly encourage you to join the Discord. We send you an email to join the Discord to join the event as well. So remember that.
Yeah, and think about it as like a tables in a physical game jam, that you can go and check the screenshots or something that has been shared in that team. So that's why they're also open for everyone. All right, so we do have quite many game schools in our network. And then also, like I said before, this is open for anyone. But let's have a little bit of a hello from other places. We have 3 places joining us today. So we have Alexei, Suvi, and John. Well, basically, full Dublin site.
Yeah.
Yay!
Hello!
There's a little bit of delay, yeah. How are you doing? Alexei, how is Ukraine? It's not the best time of the world, but how is life?
Yeah, thank you so much, Anna Kaiser. Hello, Olivia. Yes, it's great to see you all at the university. So, well, for today we had to go to the bomb shelters twice. We had to stop our lessons and continue in the bomb shelter, and then we are now back to the computer class. So we keep working in spite of the terrorist attempts to stop us, to make fear and to stop doing. We keep working as our defenders defend us, as the free world is supplying us. We keep teaching students, we keep producing games, producing various software in my direction. And also all the teachers are working, students and pupils are studying, and we are really happy to participate in this international event as yours. And we are now preparing for Global Game Jam too. It's a great warm-up before Global Game Jam for us.
Yeah, I had the privilege to check out all the projects from the Ukraine side of Global Game Jam this spring, and it's like you have fantastic talent pool there. Sorry, I got it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we keep working to foster the creativity on the game jam. So when I teach students, I always encourage them to participate in such jams. Ludar in international projects like Game Now, in Global Game Jam. And these students, some of these students can keep working on their games because, for example, on the third year, students have game development as a separate subject, and they provide these games there. And also they add these games to their portfolio, which helps to find a job in IT. So it's always useful to build a team, to work in team, to build relations inside the team, and to showcase the results.
That's fantastic. Keep on doing game jams and games.
Yeah, and this is our first time to have jammers from Ukraine joining our event as well, and I'm very grateful that we have them here. I already saw a couple of them already on Discord. They were a bit shy. Oh, my English is not that great. No worries. There's a thing called Google Translator that you can copy and paste on Discord chat. Yeah. And of course, Alexei is right there with us and helping our students there who might need language support in Ukrainian.
Yeah. Lovely to have you with us. How about Dublin? There's eager students waiting for the theme, I guess.
Whoa.
How are you, John?
Can we hear you?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
So it's a really nice day here in Dublin. I think everyone's looking forward to working on games. At the minute, we've got third-year students in the class, and second years will be joining us in about an hour, and first years are going to be working on the jam as well. So, yeah, everyone's looking forward to working on stuff. We're going to give a big cheer. Yay!
Yay! Wow, it's a huge crowd waiting for us right there.
Yeah.
Is that your hybrid jam site?
Yeah, we've got a few different rooms that we're kind of based out of over the week, so we're kind of moving around a little bit, but primarily out here.
Awesome, awesome. Are you expecting some pizza there and then nice atmosphere?
Is the pizza also like a dev food in Dublin?
We'll see if we can make pizza. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. We also have a lot of already like TU Dublin students listen our jam, and then some of them are already match made to international teams. So very looking forward for them to be very active. This is the largest group from Ireland we have so far in this event, I guess. So we're very excited.
And then we have lovely Suvi from XAMK. So
Hello, Suvi.
Hello, nice to see you.
how are you doing?
All good, all good. We have a couple of our students attending, which is great, and hopefully next year even more. So,
Is there like how big is XAMK game student slot? Like how many students do you have for games?
we have altogether about 106 students.
160.
So about 40 a year.
Oh. That's
Right.
wonderful.
Yeah.
How far is XAMK from us? Like 2 hours, 1 hour?
An hour
By
and a half?
train.
Train
Hour and a half.
Or maybe if you take from the campus, maybe 2 hours with all the travel. But yeah.
Yeah,
About 2
yeah,
hours
somewhere
away.
around there. You are the closest one in this live call at the moment. You don't have any time zone difference. So, well, of course, Ukraine is the same time zone with us,
Yeah,
but
that's
then
true.
technically speaking, like Ireland is, I think Ireland is 2 hours behind us, I guess, at the moment.
Yeah,
So,
2
yeah.
or yeah.
Yeah. So we also tried to calculate all those time zones. That was madness for me. Kudos on me. I worked really hard, try not to screw up with time zone
Yeah.
in the announcements.
So yeah, thank you for joining for the kickoff. I mean, absolutely fantastic to have you on board, and we might check on you during these days in our live streams and see what kind of buzz is at your students' projects. So thanks for joining, and see you soon in the next stream.
Thank you very much for tuning in with us, and thank you for waiting to go to these technical
We'll
difficulties.
soon go to the theme announcement. Before we do that,
Thank
we
you,
had
thank
2
you.
videos
Eager to
of
see the-
places that couldn't join us on this time. So we have one from Vasa and one from
South
Chongqing.
Korea, yeah. So we'll just play the video from them because
Yeah.
they couldn't join
Let's
us.
hit the videos as soon as our production team is ready for that.
Hey. Sound?
We saw the video already on Monday as well.
Yesterday, it's the same video.
You actually visited here.
Yep, yep.
재밌네.
In the next video.
Then there's another one.
Yeah.
there's this idle kind of animation like this
Yeah.
in some games. Ah. Okay, so unfortunately, we'll play that video tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay.
so the video is not working?
The video is not working, so
Okay.
unfortunately we can't get the hellos from Vasa. But we will get the presence of them at least in the Discord.
Okay, hopefully we can have the video on, or maybe the live streams
Yeah,
on with them.
exactly.
soon.
So now it's time to go to the thing that we completely procrastinated not to give to the people. Are you ready to get the theme? Yeah?
Yes, finally, finally.
I picked some tones there. It's like, yeah. Okay, so the theme is, for this jam, is... It's not missing, it is missing. So...
The theme is missing. Yay! Yes, so it's one word, missing.
Yeah.
That's the theme.
There's so many ways that you can interpret this. Obviously, like maybe you're missing someone, yeah, like a loved one, or maybe you missed a thing that you were supposed to go.
Forgot the thing, or
Forgot the thing, or
Yeah.
you kind of maybe
missed the target, or
yeah, it can be the missed hit of a ball. Like there's so many ways that you can interpret that. But my favorite thing came from Solip.
yes, it could be Miss Ing.
Exactly.
There are people with last name Ing in the world.
Yeah. So it's missing.
Yes.
So-
Get it? Get it? Yes. I mean, yeah.
That shows like how far you can go with the theme, the way that it takes you, if it's like humoristic kind of interpretation you want to take, whether you want to make it like very emotional game, or whether you want to make it like fast-paced thing where you are like missing or not missing
Yeah.
hits or something.
As well as also this word missing, we're just giving you the word in English, but we have a lot of non-English speaking country jammers here in this event. So ask around, what is the word missing in your own language? For me, in my Korean, we don't say I miss the person. We don't use the word missing. We have another word for that. When we say I miss the opportunity, there's a word for that. I have missed my pencil. I have lost my pencil. We have another word for that.
Yeah,
So-
same in Finnish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so many different variations of it, and this is your also opportunity to talk about different type of interpretations about this one word, missing.
Yeah, and your personal experiences that comes to your mind, for instance. So this is also for you to use to get to know your team. So yeah, that's it. We're gonna leave you with the theme, but next up, let's see if I had something. Oh yeah, just to reiterate, we have brainstorming coming up. The first actual deadline is the gameplay video.
On
So
Friday.
it's on Friday, and then on Sunday it's the final upload time. Also to kind of note that we are asking you to explain how you interpreted the theme in the final submission. So start building those things for your game page already early on, so that you don't get kind of fast in trouble on the last minutes of Sunday.
Yes.
All right, I might hand Solip the piece that gives the control for all the slides.
Yes, and
So-
we're gonna move on to the brainstorming.
Yeah, it's
sessions.
bye-bye from me. Next up, Solip, and I'll be on Discord to serve all your needs.
Okay, can I have my slide on? So we're gonna give you some tips of how to coordinate your team communications throughout this jam, because that's fairly important in this jam today, in this week. So we're gonna kick off with the brainstorming session. This brainstorming sessions will also available as a highlight video after this stream. So on Twitch, you can watch it later, because there are jammers who are still really early in the morning or really late at night on their time zone. So just to let you know, this is going to be available online soon. So don't worry if you cannot finish it until the end. There's going to be a video for us. So hello again, to introduce myself, my name is Sole Park. I'm the co-host of Games Now, and as you've noticed from the live illustration, I'm also a comic artist as a hobby, as a semi-professional level, etc., etc. And then you can kind of imagine what I've been doing in the game jam. Yes, I was usually a coffee maker and the artist throughout the jam. So that was usually my thing. Yeah, because I'm more of a planner. I don't do source programming, but I can do 2D arts and I can entertain people in the team, encouraging team. And that's basically what I'm doing throughout this game jam event. So the theme is missing. The word missing is the theme. So discuss with your team. You already have a Discord channel for you to do so. What's the word missing brings your idea? What inspires you? What word this inspires you? And then like how does it refer to your own language per se? What the word English word missing means in your language, or how is it interpreted? Maybe potentially that could be your inspiration for your team's game. And can you also fuse things together? Maybe there's different interpretations of the word missing in your language, or your personal interpretation, what's not. But then you don't have to burden yourself with all the responsibility. You can fusionize with some of your team's idea and makes the games together like that. So just try, enjoy, and then, yeah, try it out with your team. So in this brainstorming sessions for roughly like half an hour, I'm going to go with the general rules, give you a reminder again, and I'm going to instruct you a very brief introductions of the tool called Trello, which if you're a matchmaking team already on Discord, you already received a link for you to access to your team's Trello board, where you can cooperatively work together, so that even if you're working in a different time zone, you can pass along your task and ideas to your team by using this tool. So let's practice a little bit on that. So the rule, the theme is missing, and you can watch this video on Twitch later on throughout your jam. Don't worry if you cannot make it until the end of this live stream, no worries. There is a time zone difference. Be aware of that. The communication will take some time. And that's a very important thing for you to remember, because in the global game industry recently, for those who want to work in the industry in the later round, or if they want to pursue their indie dev, you're going to end up working with people in another country throughout your career. Maybe it's an outsourcing agency. Maybe your partners, co-founders, collaborative team agencies, or just happen to be somebody working remotely in a different part of the world will be your team. So do consider that and take this as a training of how you're going to make a game with your remote colleagues. So make sure that the communication may not be fast forward. It's not going to be quick, like you can just bring people knock knock on the next door. It's not going to be like that. So find your own rhythm of how you're going to utilize that. But although it's going to be hybrid game jam, mostly online, but it doesn't mean that you have to work on digital game. We're open for submission for board game as well. We're open for live RPG like LARP, for example, play. Anything is possible. So just don't worry about it. Feel free to bring it on. Okay, and then if you, like Anna-Kaisa mentioned before, if you use any other tools, and there's also a lot of assets out there, or asset marketplace and those things, whatnot, you're open to use it, preferably free assets, but make sure you credit them, list all of them on your game submission. In the itch.io page, there's going to be a section where you can list all the tools and assets that you've used in your game. Make sure you cite all of them. This is an important practice for you to also be aware that you just don't copy and paste whatever the assets from the online. You make sure you document them and cite them, and give the awareness that, I use this sort of assets available made by these creators online. And then you, of course, you cannot just copy and paste whatever the game's out there. No Angry Bird Games Now version. No, thank you. Don't make a copycat. Make your own game. That's the very important thing. Make sure you have the gameplay video recorded and submitted. And then make sure you also check out our code of conduct. Where the link will be easily to be found. Neo Games, the Finnish game industry code of conduct, is that's what we're recommending for you to use and reference. And submit the game by Sunday on itch.io page. Preferably playable, but if it's not, that's also fine. Make sure you have somewhat of the gameplay recording videos there and for us to see, actually. So there are two different type of jammers in this event. One is match-made teams. And the second ones are the pre-made ones, where either solo jamming by themselves or jamming together with the pre-made teams already. For those who have been match-made, you probably already saw like lots of project channels throughout there, and then each one of them has been pinged to the team members. So Anna-Kaisa is the one who's been working really hard to put the matchmaking team together throughout this event. So you already heard some pingings and announcements on Discord already. There are some jammers, unfortunately, that haven't joined our Discord server yet. And we don't know why these people are doing it. We really hope that they will arrive soon enough. So there are some matchmaking teams that are already been assigned, and then they're already been talking discussion, but there are some jammers that might not be very active just yet because they haven't joined the Discord server yet. We really hope that they will join soon enough. So those are the things, matchmake teams and pre-made teams or solo jams. So that are the primary things here. I'm going to give this sort of brainstorming introductions, especially for those in a matchmaking team, because it's very important that you had encouraged to step up and try to jam with complete strangers. And that's a very big step up and encouraging actions to do. So we're very grateful of that you had the courage to do so. Start by introducing others. Some of them already started to do that on Discord. Thank you very much. And start building your thoughts and ideas. And now we have the theme missing. Now you can start building more concrete ideas together on that. Use your text and voice channels actively and wisely. And you can also share your screen on voice chat, as Anna-Kaisa mentioned. So for those matchmaking team, please confirm your team by tomorrow, no later than tomorrow. Again, this is technically this is a week-long jam, but technically you have only until Friday, until the first deadline of gameplay video, and the final deadline on Sunday. It's less than a week, so it's a very short period of time. So if you want to move to a different team, if you want to switch to another team because of some reason, maybe your jammer never shows up, maybe you found interesting in other teams, etc., then where there's a deadline for that, make sure you do that until no later than tomorrow, because you're not going to have enough time to work around with new ideas with the completely new team starting from Thursday, because there's not going to be a time. If you want to switch your team, ping us, the teacher, Anna-Kaisa, or me, Solip, on Discord, Game Jam teaming or help channels, so that we can help you on that. So yes, no team changes, preferably on Wednesday. This is a recommendation. It's not like if you change the team afterwards and submit the game that is going to be disqualified. No, it's not going to be like that. We're just going to give you a recommendation. If you change your team from on Thursday, you're physically not going to be very difficult time to make your game functional. So recommendations on that. So start building your ideas, team building with your teams already starting from now. Every day here at Aalto University on this stage, we're going to have a live stream sessions, like a brief overview of what's been doing, how the jam is going, starting from tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday on every 1 p.m. here in Finland. We're going to have something live stream to make like a progress report throughout the jam event as well. So hopefully we're going to see more inputs on that. gameplay video submissions on Friday. I already mentioned that, so no reminder for that. Submit your game on itch.io on Sunday, definitely on that. Just a reminder, this Sunday is based on Finnish time. For those who are in Korea and Japan, glad that you asked. The deadline is actually on your Monday, 5 in the morning on Monday next week because of the time zone difference. So 10 p.m. Finnish time on Sunday, that's our game submission deadline. So do remember that. There are Discord channels here that you can see. There are game jam roles where you can ask around different type of roles that, hey, I'm a sound designer, for example. I'm up for help with other teams because I can make multiple music. Those type of suggesting ideas, you can share that on Game Jam Roles channel, Game Jam Teaming channel if you're looking for specific team members or role, or if you joined up late and then still don't have any teams, you can reach out. Maybe potentially there are pre-made teams or Jam match-made teams that can help you with that. Do share your screenshots of your game in progress, brag about it, talk about it, share it on Game Jam screenshot channel. And for those who need language help, there are Korean language help and Japanese language help channel where you can ask questions in Korean or Japanese. For those who are in Ukraine, Alexei will helping us out in ETI school channel over there. So you can also have some schools, teachers help with that. And then the rest of the other schools, we actually haven't heard any much of an English language issues from other schools. So these are the only language channels that we have. But if you want more, you can definitely ping us on Discord. We can help you with that. So some tips for multi-time zone teams. I have multiple experience working with the teams abroad. So this is also coming from my own game industry experience, as well as like working on this cross-cultural jam for years. So if your team involves at least 2 different time zones, make sure that remember that sometimes it takes time. Not sometimes, it always takes time. By the time you send the message, say, hey, I made this up. This is a great game idea. Post it. You're going to get a reply within like 12 hours later when your jam friends is awake. Well, that's a reality because Earth is round and it spirals around. So there's a thing called time zone difference. So you have to be aware that it takes time. So potentially, you won't be able to have a one-time meetup, an online chat or voice chat or Zoom call. You won't be able to have a dedicated meeting with all your team members. Potentially, maybe 1 or 2 person will be missing because that's the time they have to go to sleep because people need sleep eventually and sometimes, yeah. So just aware that you need to work cooperatively in this case. There's a thing called rolling paper. I don't know what's actually like called in English. Like it's called rolling paper in my own like home language, Korean, where people pass down the papers and write 1 or 2 sentences one at a time and then pass on to the next one and one at a time and pass on to the next one. Instead of everybody try to write a letter to somebody in one spot of the paper, instead they rotate the paper around and in the end you're going to have a nice looking letter that was written by everyone. So this is the tactic that you have to use. Sometimes your team might not be able to join in one session of team call. Maybe you have to use cooperative tool like what I would like to introduce you, Trello. So there also, of course, there's a lot of different type of tools out there, not just Trello. There's also a whole source of online tools that you can use it. Basically, it's a sticky notes. Post-its, of course, you can use different tools that provides this type of post-it and sticky notes functionalities. What the thing about Trello is that it's also used in many software companies and game companies even to keep up to date. What are the things that we need to do and what are the things that has been done between the team? You can, of course, try to do that with WhatsApp or Discord, but it's probably going to be very dysfunctional in some point because there's like text chats going and moving on, and sometimes you forget to mention or conclude a certain discussion where the next chat gonna be like overwhelming in the next like some of the topics will be merged, like some of the topics will be forgotten in the chat. So this type of cooperative tool like Trello, this type of thing is very important. There was also the thing called Jamboard. Google Jamboard is also the thing. You can also use Google Slide, like PowerPoint's tool, to actually leave some of the images and ideas there. That's also possible. I've also seen a lot of different teams using Excel sheets, like Google Sheets, to list down the task as well. There's multiple tactics they can do. But then for today, I will also kind of shortly give you a demonstration video of our Trello. So each matchmaking team have received their own Trello board already on your Discord. So from project 1 till project 12, I already sent you the link on Discord. So you can click that and then sign up and then log in. I already saw many of the people's already joined in over there. If you are one of the pre-made teams or solo jammer but still wants this tool to practice with this tool, let us know on Discord so that we can make a workboard for you. And of course, if you have your own Trello account and then you want to work around with your own workspace, that's also fine. Just share us the link or just share some progress updates so that we know what's happening in that part of your team. So I'm going to show you a quick demonstration video. Again, I cannot set a computer here and give you a walkthrough with my own computer. Unfortunately, I couldn't able to do that on this stage. So there's a pre-recorded video that I'm using Trello. So I'm going to demonstrate it briefly for you. So this is basically what it looks like if you open the Trello, but then I already occupied with quite a lot of cards already here to demonstrate. So there's different type of vertical line called list. So let's get onto it. So each list have different cards, and then list can also be moved around side by side. You can change your name, you can drag and drop and write the text, etc. And you can make each card. And you can also make a vertical list, many as you want, and then add a card just like how you do it in Post-it. So first, you can start by adding a list. Let's say team member. And then here in the card, you can write your team member. You can write when you're available or profile image if you want. And there's another game design idea that you can add. You can list like game ideas here and there, like a Post-it. You can also make a list that says art style idea. You can also remove the list by clicking the archive this list as well if you don't like it. You can also change the name. And continue on doing so, but then I highly recommend to add a list called to-do list. And then another side that would be likely going to say pending or working on it, work in progress, and make a list of that. So this side, to-do list, we're going to include the cards that lists the things that you need to do. And then when you are done with that, you're going to drag and drop to the list next to it says work in progress or being done. So in this example case, there are a lot of game design mechanics idea already been discussed. So we have the word missing. So maybe perhaps we can add a card idea about something about lost and found, maybe. Then you put it on the list. And then if you click the card, you can see the descriptions, fact channels that you can insert images, you can insert codes. You can also insert your link. If you already have like a document, long list of game design ideas and document, you can just directly link there so that others can see. You can also make a checklist per each card where you can mark like a checklist, to-do list within the card as well. Perhaps you can do a checklist says, discuss the idea with the team and save. Add another item called checklist that, well, Discord sharing. Share the ideas on Discord. Have I done? Tick mark. Another checklist well, Google documenting of the game design ideas, idea doc. Maybe we can use collaboratively together with that. And then you can tick mark what you have done so far. Or you can reverse the tick marked ideas. So that's all been done just by clicking this one card right here. And then you can definitely share this with your other team members. Let's see, all this like images you can also share. Maybe you have an art design idea. I want cute 2D graphic cards, and you can copy and paste on that. And then you can also share what type of tech and tools that you can use, so that like list them up here so that everybody knows what type of engine, what type of tools that we can utilize on making the game. This is really helpful, especially in matchmaking team that you don't know the skill set of the individuals. Then discuss this whole idea together on Discord, and maybe some of the ideas will be accepted. Make sure you read all the ideas, and then once the ideas are accepted through the team, you'll drag and drop to idea accepted. Of course, this list, you can make your own list saying this is our idea, have our idea. So this will be your team's idea, documented, recorded, that you don't have to worry about going back and forth on the Discord chat. Then you can also use Trello in order to assign the task. So for example, I as an artist in the Jam event, I can say that, well, I can make 2D assets for the game and make a checklist starting with, I'm going to make a color palette. The next thing, I'm going to make a character. I'm going to make a background. I can make like different type of entrance, door assets, or level environment assets and props. I'm going to do that and make a checklist, potentially on your own. You can also like do this on your own, but make sure that it's easier for you to communicate with other team members as well. Or you can use the checklist, or you don't use a checklist, but have all these detailed tasks of you listed in a separate card. That's also possible, because you can also drag and drop the cards to the list on next to it, saying that, yep, color palette, done. Move to the done list. Or you could also put it in the aspect that is pending, or it's not working. I cannot progress any further. And rather than try to explain that to every single one of your team, you can just like put it either in the work progress or blocked, making sure that, hey guys, I know you guys are like really late in the evening or night, but then I will just put it up here so they can check who's working at the moment, what type of task is being done, and what has been blocked, and what eventually has been done, so that people can see where everybody's at without asking around each other's on Discord. This is also very important, especially, again, we have multiple different time zones, and you might want to see the progress in one screen with your team. So this is important. Make sure you communicate transparently with your team using this type of tools. Of course, if you have any other tools other than Trello, then you can also use that as well. So if there's something blocked, explain that why it has been blocked and discuss with your team. But then eventually it could be done. So everything has been done. Then once that is done, make sure you upload the gameplay video. You can also share that with your team already. This is actually a footage from our previous Game Jam event person with the multicultural team between Finland and Korea made the fusion food game. They didn't technically use the tool Trello, but this team had a very brilliant like communications and collaboration, cooperative aspects of it, that they worked really hard together, but not at the same time, but utilizing the task in between the different time zones. It was a very good example of that. You can also share your itch.io page already with your team on Trello already, making sure that they can check what they did and where they can check where the game has been submitted. Make sure you leave all your team's name there, credits, gameplay video, development hours, and all the themes and explanation. Why did you came up with this game idea based on the theme, and all the assets and credits, the music, sounds, art assets that you used throughout this game. So that was the overview of this tool. And then as you can see on the side, project 1 till 12, you guys all got this list, this board to yourself. Many of them are empty. Start filling in by the list team members. Make sure you could share your image. You could share your name. I already saw one of the jammers already put their name, his or her name, and then the available time of the person. So I'm available from Thursday until this time and this time in this time zone. That's a very good way to use it. So start flocking in the team member list, so that you don't have to go through all this Discord chat history to learn about your team members. Well, you could, but then have your name card, perhaps, image, your profile image if you want, your name, your basic roles there. And then perhaps start documenting your game idea here as well. Also, again, discussed it on Discord. And then have them documented. It's going to help your life, to be honest. It's going to help you to trim down the madness and confusion of your game jam teamwork in 2 to 3 to 4 different time zones. I personally use this type of tools when I was working with international agencies. It's very simple, and sometimes it's not always 100% accurate. Some people might forget to move the card to the different lists, and you have to communicate with. That's a life. And this is the learning experience for you to take. So yeah, and that was the overall of my presentation. I think I broke the slides. Okay, that's it. So yeah, that was the brainstorming session. Thank you very much for staying tuned, tuning with me on this live presentation of Trello. And if you have any questions, further questions, ping me on Discord, Games Now Discord, and ping Anna-Kaisa or Solib. And that's it. Go jamming!